Okay, you ready? Third Mishnah. Shlosha achim. You have three brothers. Shnai mem nesuin shtei achios. Two of them are married to two sisters. Echad nosei nochris. One's married to a third woman, unrelated. Meis echad mibalei achios. Now, one of the ones who were married to a sister dies. V'konas nosei nochris es ishto. And the one who was married to the stranger married the wife. It's not a problem because the other one couldn't do yibum because it was the sister of his wife. So the other brother went and married her. Not a problem. Umeiso ishto shel sheni. Umeiso ishto sheni. Yeah? And then the sister dies. His wife that he had taken, Bakach meis nosui nochris. You know what happened? Umeiso ishto shel sheni. Now the wife of the second one dies. Umeiso ishto shel sheni. Bakach meis nosui nochris. You got it? Again, let's start over again. Two brothers married to two sisters. Okay? Now, let me have the napkin again. Okay? I have it. It's okay. Okay. You have Ruvain, you have Shimon. Ruvain, Shimon, Levi. Okay? Ruvain's married to, let's say, to Leah. Shimon's married to Rachel. Okay, Rachel is Leah. These are their sisters. Levi, let's say, has a wife unrelated to them. Let's say her name is Rivka. Okay. Now, Reuven dies. Okay, Reuven dies. So Leah cannot fall to Shimon because Shimon is married to Leah's sister. So she falls to Levi. Okay? Now, Levi does Yibum. So now Levi has two wives. He has Leah and he has Rivka. Now, Levi dies. Okay? But before he dies, okay? Before he dies, Shimon's wife Rachel dies. Right? Shimon's wife Rachel dies. And let's say Levi and let's say Leah dies. Right? Again, Shlosha achim shnayim mehem nesuin shtei achios. They're married to two sisters. V'ech nosi nochris. Meis echem bali achios. V'kones nosi nochris es ishto. Levi married Leah. Umeis ishto shel sheni. Now, Shimon's wife dies. Rachel is not alive any longer. So under normal circumstances, if Shimon would want to marry Leah, it would not be a problem, right? Because you're not permitted to marry a sister's wife, a wife's sister, only when she's alive. So now Shimon's wife dies, Rachel dies. Now Levi dies. So now the question is, so now Leah is no longer the sister of Rachel because Rachel died. Right. Nevertheless, Shimon cannot do Yibum. Why? Because since initially Leah was an Eishesach Shlopa Moka Mitzvah, she was off limits at one time as an Eishesach because she was still the wife of what? Of Reuven. And she was never permitted. See, even though now she's no longer, it's irrelevant. Since she was already classified as Eishesach Shlopa Moka Mitzvah, so therefore he cannot marry her. Even though Levi today, right, Levi today is no longer here, so he can't do Yibum Rivka because she is the tzara of somebody who cannot do Yibum to. Okay, that's the case. Let's see. Why? Since there was a time that Shimon cannot be miyabim Leah, right, initially, even at this point of time, Rachel is no longer, doesn't make a difference. Because she's already classified as what? As Ishlach Shlobam Bakamitzah, because she, from the time of, when she was married to Reuven. Okay, good. You know what this is similar to? Let's say you have Reuven and Shimon. Reuven dies, Shimon does Yibum. Subsequently, a brother is born. After. So the third brother was born, Reuven wasn't alive any longer. Right? Nevertheless, What's the halacha? So even though when he came into existence, this woman was the wife of Shimon. But since initially she was the wife of Ruvain, if Shimon should die, the brother cannot do Yibum. Because he was not alive when the first brother was alive. So what's her classification? Eishes ach shelo b'makom mitzvah. She's an Eishes ach, she's not permitted to marry. Not because of Shimon, but because of Ruvain. So once she has that label sticks. It's the same thing here. Two brothers marry two sisters. Ruvain dies. Right? Shimon cannot be Miyabin Ruvain's wife because it's the sister of his wife. Okay? But what is, if there's no Yibum, what's her classification? Eishes ach, which is not permitted because there's no mitzvah. Once that label's attached to her, regardless of what happens later, even if his wife dies now, right, and now she falls to Yibum because she was Levi's wife, he can no longer marry her. Because she has that label already attached to her. She's Neshach Shelo B'makom Mitzvah. Okay, that's what we're talking about.
But she doesn't go free. She needs Chalitza.
No, there's no brothers left any longer. Nobody's alive any longer.
Right, so that she goes free.
Why shouldn't she go free? Omer Rav Yudah Omer Rav Kol Yavom Sheina Nekora B'B'Shas Nefilu Yavomo Yovo Aleo Harei Ki Shezal Sheish Labonim V'Asura. Hear what he says. Rav Yudah says to him, Rav, any Yavoma that at the time when the husband dies, the mitzvah Yibum doesn't apply to her, then she's classified as what? She's like an Eishes ach who has children, which is Osir. My Kamashma said, the question is, if Rav Yudah Rav is telling me this, but it's a Chiddush. What's Chiddush? Tanina, it's a Mishnah. What does it say in the Mishnah? Arezu Asura Lovolomis. That's the Mishnah. That's our Mishnah. And Amora only it tells me something I wouldn't know. But if something which is explicit in the Mishnah, what's he telling me? Meaning, if let's say you have a case, listen to the case. A woman, two brothers married to two sisters. Reuven Shimon married to two sisters. Reuven dies. So there's no Libum. Subsequently, Shimon's wife dies. So I say, right, so there was no Yibum at the time. When the brother died, Yibum had no relevance. Right? Because there was only one other brother, and the brother was married to the sister. So I say, since the mitzvah Yibum never applied to her, even though now Shimon's wife dies, although the prohibition of Achos Ishan is no longer, but since when he died, the mitzvah Yibum didn't apply to the woman, she's forever forbidden. In our case, what are we talking about? She did fall to Yibum. We're talking about the three brothers. So factually, Yibum, she did fall to Levi. Right? She fell to Levi. So if she fell to Levi, I'd say, you know something? Since the mitzvah Yibum applied to her, and now the prohibition of Achos Isha is no longer in place, maybe Shimon could marry her. No. That's Rav's Chiddush. That's the Chiddush of Rav. Even though she fell to Yibum, but since she was never permitted initially to Shimon, it's the same thing. That's what Rav is adding to the Mishnah. Okay? So Mar says, Nami Tanina. He says, we have a Mishnah that speaks about that case. Shnei achin nesuin, shtei achios. Two brothers married to two sisters. Meis echon me'en v'achach meis ishto shel sheni. Hareza asurolo of lobis, hov v'neslo of shoachas. Ma'od esem hosem hu di yitchilo. Ma'ai beis legamri. Aval hochad lo yitchili ma'ai beis legamri. Ema migu de chazer lahai nosu inochris chazer nami lahai. That's exactly what he's saying. Since in our situation over here, since the mitzvah Yibum has relevance to Levi, it can even have relevance to Shimon. And once the prohibition of Achos Isha goes off, now it kicks in. The answer is no. Since at the time when Reuven died, she was off limits to Shimon, it continues to be. That once that label's attached, it's forever. Shlosha Achim, next Mishnah. Shlosha Achim Shnayim and Nesuin Shtei Achios. Three brothers, two are married, two sisters. V'echad Nosi Nochris. Third brother is married to unrelated woman. Listen to the story. Giresh Echon Bali Achios es Ishto. One's married to divorced his wife. 1 second. Umes Nosui Nochris. And now, which brother dies? Levi dies. The one who's married to the unrelated wife, sister, woman, he dies. Listen what happened. Now, Ruvain was married to a sister. He divorces the woman. Yeah? So now, wait, and now Levi dies. Now Levi is Miyabim Ruvain, Ruvain, who was married to is Miyabim Levi's wife.
Right.
Okay? The Konsa Megarish. The divorcee marries, right, Ruvain's wife, right? Ruvain marries Levi's wife, Umes, and he dies. Could Shimon now marry that, do Ibim on that woman? What would you say?
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
Right? Because the two women were never associated with one another. He divorced his first wife. Subsequently, his brother dies.
Right.
And now he marries that woman. So now when he married that woman was never associated with his wife. They were never co-wives. Now Levi dies. There's no reason why Shimon, who's married to a sister of his original wife, doesn't do Yibam on her. Why not? Correct? Okay, good. V'kulan, he says, Zeshi Shamru, Kulan Shemesu, Nizgar Shetzaresu Imutoros. Right? If initially they died, or he divorced his wife, since Reuven had divorced his wife before Levi died, and subsequently did Yibum on Levi's wife, okay, so then Levi dies, there's no reason why Reuven shouldn't be able to do Yibum on Levi's wife. Okay, you following?
After the divorce.
Just take out if the woman can fall to Yibum several times.
Sure, it depends, right, 100%. Now, so the case in the Mishnah is speaking about, what happened? Just the sequence of events. Two brothers married to two sisters, a third one married to a stranger. Now, one of the ones married to the sister divorced his wife, okay? Subsequently, the married stranger dies, right? And now, so when did he divorce his wife? Before he married the stranger. Seemingly, what happened like this? Let's say he didn't divorce his wife initially. The brother dies.
Right.
Levi dies. He divorces his wife, and then he marries the third one. He marries the Levi's wife. The Mishnah speaks, he divorced his wife before Levi died.
Right.
What about if he was married to the sister when Levi dies? So Levi's wife still falls to Yibum to him,
Yeah.
right? Falls to Yibum.
If the third wife is not connected to the sister, why doesn't she fall?
No.
Even
Again.
even without the divorce.
Good. You're asking a good question. That's exactly what the Gemara is asking. That's going to be the Gemara's question. Why did he have to here it's even more than that. He divorced her, Shimon divorced his wife before Levi died. Let's say, right? And then subsequently Levi dies and does Yibum. So when he does Yibum, Shimon has no relevance to his original wife. These two women were never connected at any level. Let's say Levi dies.
But why would these two women be connected? Well, they're not sisters.
No, they're co-wives because they be co-wives.
Wives meaning just the
No, because then, let's say Levi didn't divorce his wife. Let's say Shimon didn't divorce his wife.
Right.
Now Levi dies, and Levi could do Yibum on Levi's wife. So now he's married to a woman and a stranger, but that is the co-wife of the sister of Shimon's wife. Right? Rivka, who's unrelated to Leah and Rachel.
I thought these are the two sisters.
Yeah, I understand that. But if Levi goes, let's say Levi didn't divorce his wife.
Right.
And then let's say he do Yibum on Levi's wife.
Right.
So Rivka is the co-wife of the sister of Shimon,
Right.
Shimon's wife.
Right.
You got it?
Sister.
Right.
She and she are co-wives.
They're co-wives.
This is the sister of
This is right.
So why is that a problem?
We say that's Archos Erva, so that's the question. But why can't we say he divorced her before he died? He divorced her when he died. Now Rivka is no longer the co-wife of the sister.
So Rivka available.
Right? So Rivka should be available for Shimon. Right? But it doesn't say that in Mishnah. It says he divorced her before his brother died. But it seems if the brother would have died first, They're ready. It's a problem. Right? Let's read inside. Taima the Girish Akachmes. The Mishnah says, why could Shimon do Yibam on Shimon's wife? Because Shimon had divorced his wife before Levi died. Right? Avol Mesvach Girish. But let's say he first died. Levi dies. Now, Levi dies. Levi's wife falls to Ruvain. Right? Wait. And subsequently he divorces her. Subsequently he divorces her. It seems to be it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem? So the answer is because if you hold Yesh Zika,
It doesn't leave.
no, if you say Yesh Zika,
Right.
that because now she's connected, even if he does no Yibum,
Right.
even though there's no Yibum on him. If Yesh Zika, there's a connection between them.
Right. It doesn't
Okay?
leave.
Although they're two brothers here, we say that there's enough of a bond between the co-wife,
Right.
Levi's wife, and his wife, that it's considered the co-wife of a sister. Okay? So even though he divorces her, it doesn't make a difference. At one time, they were co-wives.
Right. But after it's easy.
She was a tzora in Zika. Right? She was a co-wife within the context of Zika. This woman who fell, who was a stranger, Levi's wife, was she connected to Ruvain? Yes. Not a marriage. He didn't do Yibum, but they were connected. Zika. There's Ruvain. There's Ruvain. Rivka, was she connected to Ruvain?
Initially,
Connected. She cannot marry unless Ruvain gives a chalitza, correct? Right? So if they're connected, who is Rivka?
They're connected when he dies.
No, when Levi dies. So now she's connected to Ruvain.
Because he can do
So therefore, even though let's say he didn't do Yibum, she is the co-wife of the sister.
the sister to this
So
one.
even now, if he divorces his wife, the sister, this was still the co-wife of the sister. So she assumed the status of the wife of the co-wife of the sister. So now when Ruvain dies, who's Rivka? Rivka is called the co-wife of the sister.
So she's off limits to him.
Therefore, she's off limits to him. So therefore, he had to divorce her before Levi died.
Because it's like another sister.
It's like another sister, right? Because so therefore, the Mishnah say Ruvain first divorced his wife, the sister. So then when Levi died, there's no association at any level between Rivka and his original wife.
Unless we say before, as long as she was prohibited at some point in time.
Yeah, but the question, what's the prohibition? He never married her. They were only co-wives in terms of, because he had an obligation to do Yibum, or to give Chalitza. Right? You following? Okay. So the Gemara says, Omer Ravashi Osamer Ziko, Afilu Chayachi, Ula Ravashi Kasha. He says the Ravashi has a problem with Rav Nachman. Why? Because Rav Nachman brought a proof before that we hold Ein Ziko. Omelach Ravashi, Hu Adin Avagavid Lo Avid Bo Maimer. It said earlier, he brought a proof that if he did Maimer, that's when there's a connection. Avagavid Lo Avid Bo Maimer, Nochris Mechlutz Cholza, Yivumi Lo Miyami. We had a case before. Wait, but this is not this case. We had a case before. You had two brothers married to sisters. The third brother is married to a stranger. Now, one of the brothers dies. He does mimer. Sisters dies. He does mimer. He does kedushin to the one who's the wife the widow.
Yeah.
On a Torah level, it's nothing. He's permitted. He does kedushin. Right? He does kedushin to her. His wife is not one of the sisters. He's permitted, Levi. So Maimer on the Torah level is nothing. So he said from here to it says it says he gives chalitza, and so now if Levi dies, Shimon gives chalitza to the co-wife and not Yibum. You got it? Again, let's write the new picture here. Ruvain, Shimon. Now, Levi. Levi's married to a stranger. Okay? He's married to a stranger. This is sister. Okay, Reuven's married to a sister, Shimon's married to a sister. Levi's a stranger. Reuven dies. He's out of picture. Levi goes and does Kedushin to this woman. Okay, Kedushin. Kedushin on a Torah level means nothing. So it says, because he did Kedushin, and then Levi dies. So the connection between Levi's wife and the sister is not a real connection, because it says now, when Levi dies, Shimon does chalitza on the stranger wife. He does the previous Mishnah says he does chalitza on the stranger. Why does he do chalitza on the stranger? So Rav Nachman deduced from the Mishnah is because since in the perception the sister seems to be Levi's wife, so it's the stranger is the co-wife of the sister. Therefore, when Levi dies, Shimon cannot do yibum. But it seems to be if he wouldn't have done kedushin, he could even do yibum. So Rav Nachman deduced from this, you see from there, Ein Zika, that even though there was an obligation for him to do yibum, and Zika associated this sister with a strange wife, that it's not enough to give her the status of a co-wife, even though Zika-wise they're connected. You following? So Rav Ashi answers, when Rav Nachman deduced, he said, Konas, really, even without marriage, you cannot do what's his name. Without Maimer, he couldn't do Yibum. Okay? Who adin davgav lo ovet b'Maimer? Nochritz milchetz cholzi v'milo miyadmik. Right? You cannot do Yibum. I vodik Tony Maimer. So if you're telling me even without Kedushin, he can only do Chalitza and not Yibum, so what does it have to tell me he did Maimer? You know what he says? Lafugim Beishamidom and Maimer Koneh. We had earlier, Beishamai says that if a person marries a Yavama, she's considered his full wife. So if she's considered his full wife, so what happens now when Levi dies? So then she doesn't fall. We're talking about bona fide co-wife, co-sister, the co-wife of a sister. So what does Shimon have to do? Nothing. She goes free. That's all according to Beis Shammai. But according to us, that we hold Maimer is not Koneh. So it's showing that even if you do Maimer is not what Beis Shammai says Maimer is. Really, even without Maimer, he cannot do more than Chalitza. Because it's Achos Kukoso. Yesh Zika means because there's that connection. We see alike the co-wife of what? Of the sister. Therefore, he cannot do Yibum, only Chalitza. So if that's the case, why say he can only do Chalitza when he did Maimer? The answer is you don't need Maimer to tell me. I only need Maimer to tell me, not like Beis Shammai. According to Beis Shammai, you wouldn't even need Chalitza. You need nothing because it's considered literally Achos Ishto. Right? Because Maimer to a Yavama, according to Beis Shammai, it's like you married her. It's a Torah-recognized marriage. Okay?
So it's Chalitza and get or just Chalitza?
It's a separate discussion. That's a separate discussion. Doesn't make a difference. It's a separate discussion. But Shimon, under no circumstances, could marry. If he's the only remaining brother, goes free according to Beis Shammai. Look at Beis Shammai. So the Mishnah White says, Maimer is to tell me we don't rule like Beis Shammai. The Maimer is not Koneh. Or the Rav Nachman Kashid Rav Ashi. Or Rav Nachman Kashid Rav Ashi deduced from the Mishnah. We say, Yeshiko. Chitem udin da filu meis vacha kach gireish. Right? Rav Ashi deduced from the Mishnah. It says he had to divorce her before Levi died. Right? Rav Nachman's position is Yesh Zika. Ein Zika. But, so what does he do with Rav Ashi? Is his deduction from the Mishnah? Maybe you want to say even if he divorced her later, the Torah is permitted. Why? Because Ein Zika. So when it says this is the case that permitted, so it seems to what is this? It comes to exclude the case where he divorced her after his brother died.
Who's saying this, Rav Ashi?
No, Rav Ashi deduced from the Mishnah Yesh Zika.
So he's saying
Because he had to divorce her before Levi died.
right.
So he says maybe what Rav Nachman argues. Rav Nachman holds even he divorced her afterwards. Even afterwards, he's still permitted
So
the
Rav
co.
Nachman is
We're saying this in Rav Nachman,
Okay.
right?
Okay, okay.
So he says, if that's the case, when it says, this is the case where the tzara is permitted to the brother.
Good.
So if you learn like Rav Ashi, what is it coming to exclude the case where he divorced day afterwards,
Right.
rather than before? But if you hold that Rav Nachman holds, even if you divorce her afterwards, she's still permitted, what do you mean this is the case? Which case am I excluding? Right? Elazuhi lemute mai. Right? Elazuhi lemute mai. Lemute konas dacha giresh. So we'd say, you know what's coming out? It's speaking where he did yibum, and then he divorced her. Hanichi savar karab yirmidu tavra mishanazu lo shanazu. Vaitanas misa mapeles. Vaitanas of nisun rishonim apilim. So zui lemute mai. There's an argument earlier on Yud Gimel. Interesting shaila. Here, interesting shaila. What happens if a man is married, two people are married to two sisters, and then afterwards he marries another wife, and then his wife dies. The sister dies. Okay, the sister dies. At that moment, there was a time she was the co-wife of a sister. And now, Shimon divorces Shimon's wife dies. You got it?
Okay.
Shimon's wife dies. No, Ruvain's married to a sister, and Rega. 1 second. Yeah. Again, two brothers married to two sisters. Now you have Levi, right? Now Levi has a stranger wife. He does yibum on Ruvain's wife. So now he's married to a sister also. And now, after he does yibum, he divorces the sister.
Right.
And then he dies.
Okay. Now we have
The strange wife, does she fall to Shimon? Because at one time, she was the co-wife of the sister. You had a question? So what's the discussion? The discussion is, do we look at the original relationship? So the original relationship was what? The sister, even if his wife would die, he could never marry the sister. Because it was what? Because the time when she felt the yibum, he wasn't permitted. But now, this co-wife is the co-wife of a woman that he was not permitted to marry. Right? So now the question is, if you say that she assumes the label of the first wife, like an Aisha Tachshlo b'Moka Mitzvah, then when Levi dies, Shimon cannot be miyabim, the unrelated wife, even though Levi is no longer married to the sister. But if I say Misa Mapeles, that you look at the time when he dies, at the time that he died, there was no connection between the stranger and the sister. So then the stranger would fall to Yibum to Shimon. Okay? So he says, Isav l'kareb Yirmiyah Haitanasav Misa Mapeles. Vaitanasav in the Sun Rishonim Apilim. Zu Hilamute Konas, so that comes to exclude Konas himself Girish. Elisav a Karov Domalol Mchatanhu. Vizu ain't Tzorch Lo Makdu. In either case, you're not permitted. Lamute Mai, what's coming to exclude? Al Korch Kareb Yirmiyah Sphere Lakes. Ularav Hanichi Savala Karavashi Izu Lamute Meis below Girish. Savala Karav Nachuz Lamute Mai, Al Korch Karavash Sphere Lakes. Okay, it's a little complicated. You can figure it out.
Is one allowed to divorce the Yibama?
Once he marries, he can divorce her. Once it's his wife, he could marry. It's his wife, he could divorce her. Kulan now. Kulan shehelyu b'hem kedushin v'ogershin. B'sofik. Now, an interesting case. A man's married to a woman, sofik kudeshes. Sofik. Ogershin. B'sofik. I'll give you. A man's married to a sister. Is married to a woman. Then he marries a woman who's a sister to his brother's wife. You got it? And now, but the marriage to the sisters is a questionable marriage. So that means it's questionable whether they're co-wives. And now Reuven dies. So could the co-wife remarry without chalitza? The answer is she has to have chalitza. Why? Because maybe if the original marriage wasn't a marriage, so that means there's no connection between Reuven's wife and what? And the sister.
Right.
So therefore, Shimon has to give chalitza to the co-wife because she's not a co-wife. You follow me the case? Reuven's married to Jane. Okay? Shimon's married to Leah. Now, after Reuven marries Jane, he marries Rachel, which is a questionable marriage. It may be his wife, may not be his wife. So if it is his wife, so that means Jane is the co-wife of a sister. So when Reuven dies, Jane does not fall to Yibum. Right? Because she's the co-wife. But let's say the marriage to Rachel was not a marriage. So what is she? She's independent. There's no connection. So then Rachel does fall to Yibum, to Shimon. Jane does fall. It's unresolved. What do? You can't allow her to get married. Yibum, you're not permitted to do Yibum. Because she may not be permitted. Right? Because she may be she may be a co-wife of a sister. On the other hand, but if she's not connected, she's not permitted to remarry. So how do you resolve it? You give a chalitza.
So that's a severance. A chalitza this way.
Even though it's a suffix.
Right.
But you have no choice.
But this makes the severance.
Because even if she is, it severs the relationship.
Good.
She gets married, okay? So that's kulon shu kedushin or gershin b'sofek. It was a question of a questionable marriage, a questionable divorce, which the Gemara is going to discuss in a moment. Let's say he divorced the what's his name, the sister, and it's questionable whether the divorce was a valid divorce or not, right? The same thing. So if it's a questionable divorce, then what is she? It's a question whether when he died was she the co-wife of the sister. So if she's not, then what is she? She needs chalitza. You can't allow her to remarry without it. But we can say the Gemara is explained the two different cases here. So the halacha is chol tzedok mizyabes. Ketzat safi kedusha. What's the case of the marriage is questionable? Here, he's married to Jane, and then afterwards he has a suffix marriage to the sister. What's the case? Zorak lo kedushin. He takes something of value, throws it within her proximity. You know, if it lands within her dalar amos, that's the equivalent of a chotzer. She's married. What happens if it falls outside of her dalar amos? Not. So let's say you have two witnesses saying it fell within, two witnesses say it fell without. Right? So it's a suffix. So what is she suffering Kudeshes? Well, let's say two witnesses couldn't do, two same witnesses. No disagreement. They can't determine whether the money is within or without. So what is she suffering Kudeshes? She may, but if she's suffering Kudeshes, so the co-wife is what? She may not be a co-wife. Because on the chance that it was outside of a proximity, so that means the co-wife was never connected. The other wife was never connected. So that's the case. Savikar lo savikar lo. Zeo savik kedushin. What's savik gerushin? Which the Gemara is going to ask. No. Kosla ksav yodo. The Brisa says in Gittin, listen, on a Torah level, if a person writes a get with his own handwriting, on a Torah level it's a valid get. Rabbinically, we invalidate it. But it's his handwriting. It can be identified he wrote it. On a Torah level, it's a valid get. Rabbinically, not. Okay? So therefore, let's say she should remarry, should have a child. The child is a kosher child. Although we're calling the get posul, she really needs another get, a proper get. But since at the Torah level it's a valid get, if she should remarry, if she should conceive a child with somebody else, the child's not a mamzer. It's not a mamzer. Okay? What about if you write a... Because the way the Chachamim want, it should be written with witnesses. That's the way a get should be written. No witnesses on the get. No witnesses. The only way you could identify it to be his, because it's his own handwriting. No witnesses. Okay, another case, what about if they omitted the date? The date was omitted from the get. A get needs a date. Rabbinically, it needs a date. What happens if the sofer forgot to put the date in? On a Torah level, it's a valid get. Rabbinically, it's called pasul. So if she should remarry with this get, have a child, the child's kosher. But rabbinically, we call it get pasul. It's not a valid get. Right? That's the other case. And there's a third case. What's the third case? Rashi says the third case. Yeah, you will see in a moment. Here, it's written with the saying there are no witnesses. It was a date, it has witnesses, but it was never dated. It has a date, but it only has one witness. Why? Because the question is, do I the sofer, where I could identify his handwriting? So his handwriting is the equivalent of another witness. I can buy it. So again, on a Torah level, it's valid. Rabbinically, we invalidate it. So now, if he divorces this woman, so the way it's perceived, she's the wife of who? She's still the wife of the deceased. Because we're calling it a get puzzle. So if that's the case, if we would, so the co-wife, but we can't let her go without chalitza, right? Because factually, she's not connected to the sister. Reuven gave one of the sisters one of these gittin, which rabbinically we say is called puzzle. So how do we see them? We see them connected. Right? We see the strange woman is still, the unrelated was connected to the sister. No, they're disconnected on a Torah level. They're disconnected. So really, in truth, you should do yibum. You should do yibum. But since the perception is they're not divorced, we can't allow yibum. Because you know what it's going to lead to? Person says a tzoras of an achos, a co-wife of a sister, you can do yibum. The sister you can't do yibum, but the co-wife you could do yibum. Because if we're calling to get posel, that means they're not divorced. He has to conduct as if he's not divorced. He has to give her another get. So we can't allow yibum. Why can't we allow yibum? Because people will say that you could do yibum on a tzoras erva. But you can't let it go, because factually she is connected. Because it is a valid divorce. So it's choletz lo misiya bemis, right? She gets chalitza, and there's no yibum. So Mor is going to ask a question. What do we have to learn in the case of Suffolk get differently in Suffolk? Let's learn the same kind of case. He gave her a get, and there's a question, was the get within our proximity, or was it outside of proximity? Same question. What do we have to? Why does the Mishnah have to interpret the case as a different case? Kedushin is, he gave through the money, was it within our proximity, outside our proximity? That's the case of Kedushin. So in that case, we say that the co-wife is choletz lo misiya bemis. What's the case of get? You say the same thing. He threw a get, within, without. But it doesn't say that. The case of get is a totally different case. He gave her a get that on a Torah level was a valid get. Rabbinically, it's not a valid get. So what do we have to come up with a new case? Say the exact same case. That's the Gemara's question. Vilu begershin, Sovi karvlo, Sovi karvlo, Luktoni. The Mishnah doesn't explain the case of Sovi Gershin is the same case as Sovi Kedushin. My time or why? Why do we have to come up with a new case? Let's say the same case. Omer Rabbo. Isha zu becheskes het l'shukomedus. Right? The first case. Excuse me. The last case. He's married to a sister and there's a co-wife. Correct?
Right.
And now he gives her a get. So before let's say it would be a questionable get. He threw it within her proximity. It's a question. Was she divorced? Was she not? The co-wife, is she permitted to marry out before he threw the get to her? The answer is yes. Right? Because she's the co-wife of what? Of a what? Of a woman that's not permitted. She's a tzoras erva. Before he let's say before he died, he threw a get. And was it within a proximity and not within a proximity? And now he dies. Before the question arose, what was her status? The co-wife, was she permitted to remarry without anything? The answer is yes. Right? Because she was the co-wife of his sister. So when you have a sofek, what do you go after chazaka? The presumed status is this woman is permitted to remarry. Because she's the tzara of her nerva. Right? No, the Gemara asks the question, what do we have to give a case of get possible? Let's stay with the same case. A man is married to a sister and another woman. He throws a get to the sister, to the wife who's the sister, before he dies, and it's a question, was it a get, was it within a proximity or not? Since a suffix, whether the get was a valid get or not a get, on the Torah level. Was she divorced or not? Now the husband dies, before he gives her another get. So now, before he threw out that get, if he would have died, would have the co-wife been permitted to remarry without anything? Yes. Wait. She would have been permitted. Now I have a question, is she still permitted? So when a person's in doubt, where you have a presumed status, with the questionable get. He gave her questionable get before he died. She'd be forbidden. So before he threw that get, before the question, she would not fall to evil. So before the question arose, this woman, the co-wife, definitely would have been permitted to remarry without anything. The get creates the question, right? So whenever you have a presumed status and you have a question arising, what do you follow? You follow presumed status. If the get wouldn't have been given, she could have remarried. Without anything. The get is questionable. Whenever you have a doubt and you have a presumed status, what do? You continue with the chazokah. Presumed status is she could remarry. The get is nothing. We said the get is nothing. She could remarry without even chalitza. Of course, they were definitely, at one time they were connected. My question is, did they become disconnected? So when they were connected, she definitely could remarry without anything. My question is, did her status change? So we have a principle. Whenever you have a question of, did her status change? Now what do you go after? You go after the original status. So I'd say she's definitely permitted to remarry. Right? Good. It's like the get that didn't exist. Okay? Samara says, but if you play that's the approach. So let's say the same thing on the first side of the case. The first case, Samara asks, said the same thing. Initially, he's married to a stranger. It's a question, did he marry the sister, did he not marry the sister? If he wouldn't have married the sister, this woman, she definitely would have fallen to Yibum. Right, wait. So the name is Isha Zu B'cheskes Heter, Liyovam Omedis. She should be permitted. Before he married the sister, he could have done Yibum. 100%. The question, the sister caused the question to arise. Umi Sofik et Abola Osra. Al Tasren B'Sofik. Why? Let her have Yibum. If that's the case, we're following this principle. What do you say? As you say, she would not need chalitza because of chazokah. We should say that she should be able to have yibum because of chazokah. For the same reason. Not majority. Presumed status. Her status hasn't changed. And say the marriage was nothing. So Mara says, Hosum l'chumra. He says, there, it's a chumrah. That we don't allow yibum to be, it's a chumrah. What's the chumrah? It's a stringency. So it says, Hai chumrah, das lekulu. This being stringent in that case, it could actually create a problem. Why could it create a problem? Because if you're telling me on a Torah level, she's really not married. The kedushin is nothing. She's not married to the first husband. She's not married. So if she's not married, let's say she would accept kedushin from a third party. Right? Right? So he says, why? Zimnin de ozel hu umekarish lo lachosa kedushi vadai. One second. No, because what's going to be like this? No, if you're saying it's a chum das lekula, because by saying that what? That we're saying it's a chumrah. The reason why we don't allow yibum and you give chalitza is because it's a chumrah das lekula. Zim das hu makarish lachosa kedushay vadai. What happens now? The Ruvain, who was married, who did the questionable marriage to Rachel. Okay. Let's say now he goes and marries Leah. A definite marriage.
Definite, okay.
So what's going to be?
Yeah, a definite and an undefinite.
No, so right. Inami zim de os acher umekar shel lido to shivadai. Became the oselo mar letzora liyibume amri the kama kedusha ubasalav kedushin. You see, he's saying something phenomenal. We're saying, in truth, on a Torah level, the sister is not married to the first one. Of course, he was married to the co-wife. Guy, got it? Married to the co-wife. Now he does a questionable marriage to this woman who's a sister. Okay? So what do we say? We say, if that's the case, she should do yibum. Wait. So we say, no, you know why? Because it's a chumrah. We see her as if he's married to the sister. He says, what happens now? He goes and he marries the other sister. Does a definite kedushin to the other sister. Right? You know what people are going to say? No, it's not a marriage. They can say it's not a marriage. But in reality, it is a marriage. In reality, he's not married to the first sister. Of course, we say you go after chazokah. But we're saying it's a chumrah. We look at him as if he's married. But what happens if the same man goes and marries the second sister? They'll say, you know something, he's not married to the second one. You know why he's not married to the second? Because he's married to the first one. But in reality, he is married to the second one. He's married to the second one. Right? So it creates a major problem over here. Right? Oh, let's say a better case. Let's say now the first one was saying that the first one, he's married to the first one. Let's say now a third party goes and marries, one second, Inami de Ozel, one second, Inami zim de Ozel achur mekarshlo lidido. Let's say a third party goes and marries the first one. A kedushay vaday. You know what people are going to say? It's nothing because he's married to the first one. We're saying we see the first sister, we see the woman married to the first man. Let's say now a third party goes and gives kedushin to that same woman. So we're saying, if you tell me it's nothing, if you say it's nothing, so people say she's married to that other man. But if we're saying we're looking at it as if she's the wife of the person, which is a chumrah, so what are people going to say? People say the second the married, the man who will extend the marriage to her is nothing. But in reality, she's married. She's married to the second man. She's not married to the first man. Right? She's the second man's wife. She's not the first man's wife. So this is a chumrah which is going to create tremendous problems. Fturi. Either Ruvain is going to marry the sister, and they can say the marriage to the sister is nothing, or a third party is going to marry the first one and say the marriage is nothing because she's already married to the man. But in reality, it's all a facade. In reality, he's not married to him because they have chazokah. The chazokah says she's not married. So on that, the Gemara answers, we're not worried. Why? He says, you know why we're not concerned? We're not concerned because, listen to this. When the man dies, we say his wife, the widow, needs chalitza. But if we see her that she's definitely married to the first one, so why does the co-wife need chalitza? So evidently, you see, it's not so simple. He's married to her, right? So therefore, when he marries the sister, we're not going to say it's a marriage to the sister. It's a questionable marriage to the sister. And a third party goes and marries her. He's not married. He's not definitely not married to the third. He may be married to the third party. Chalitza gives it away. If in fact she's the co-wife of a sister, so why, when he dies, does the surviving brother have to give chalitza? So that clearly tells us, although we're calling her his wife, in reality she's not the wife. So my question: Yochi Gerushin Nami, listening. Chalitza. We say, what's the case of Gershon? She's definitely divorced, right? She's definitely divorced. He gave her a get. He gave her a get, which rabbinically is not a valid get, which is a valid get. So therefore, we say over there, so why do we say? Because since she has a chazaka that she's permitted to marry, it's a chumrah, right? Because the other way, it's not so simple. Because really, she's what? She's not divorced, but people think she is divorced, right? So he says, why? Chalitza will give it away. So Mara asks a question. Listen to chalitza, maybe yadu chumrah balmu. No, he says, if there's chalitza, people think he chose to give a chalitza. So people think he could even do yibum. People say the same thing over here. Maybe he could do, but he can't do yibum because she's a self-a co-wife. V'tisiyabing, vein bekach klum, achazako kakaimo. See, the first case, we don't care if they do yibum. Because factually, on a Torah level, you could do yibum. Because she has a chazaka that she's not married. So the co-wife, it's only a rabbinic stringency. The first case, he made a suffix marriage to the sister. On a Torah level, what do we go after? You have the chazaka, she's not married to him. So if she's not married to him, then what? So we give chalitza. But you realize, but if it may end up in yibum, and it ends up in yibum. On a Torah level, he's permitted to yibum. The second case, right? If I learned the same case, and you did yibum, it's a problem because it may be saras erva. Therefore, we have to give a get that on a Torah level, it's a get. It is a get. You got it? No, so therefore, even if you would do yibum, it's not going to be a problem. Because if it's a suffix, then she's a Suffolk co-wife. But if you give the case of the get is speaking where on Torah level she's cut from him, so you give chalitza, but you give chalitza, you may do yibum. Again, it's not a problem if he does yibum, because factually there's no connection between the co-wife and the erva. Okay.
Very simple question. Before we talk about the co-wives at any point in time, even if they should be separate, now we're going back to what's the big difference with the relationship.
No. Here the co-wives were never co-wives. No. There, first they were co-wives when they were Zika. You got it? Here, let's say Reuven is married to a wife, and then he marries a sister. Then he divorces the sister. And then he dies. The co-wife definitely falls to Yibum, to Shimon, who was married to a sister. Because the relationship was never within the context of Yibum. Doesn't make a difference. But there was never a time that they were connected within the context of Yibum. Right? The case we spoke before, because at one time there was a connection because there were three brothers. So when the first brother died, this woman was connected to the co-wife because there was Zika. Right? There was Zika, meaning because Levi had an obligation to be Miyabim, to marry Reuven's wife. So if we're saying that obligation is enough to connect the unrelated wife with the sister. So there it's already within the context of Ibum. But let's say two brothers, one's married to a wife, unrelated to his brother's wife, then he marries the sister of the brother's wife. And then he divorces the sister of the brother's wife. Then he dies. Shimon is Miyabim, the other woman. Why not? There's no linkage between them at the time of death. And there was never a linkage after death. Like the case before, there was a linkage in a previous marriage. From Reuven, there was a linkage. Within the Yibum, within the... Right. We will stop here.